Open back headphones can totally change how you hear and mix music, but the best ones? Well, that depends on your setup, your style of music, and your budget. I've made a lot of music using open back headphones, not just for reviewing gear, but actually creating the songs you hear in my videos. They let me hear depth, space, and get that final mix right before sharing. In this video, I've got 7 open back headphones that really stand out and a couple budget surprises that may blow you away. Let's get started. The ATH-R70X from Audio-Technica is one of the newest open back headphones released this year. These headphones have a super lightweight design, just 210 grams, the lightest headphones in this roundup. This is carbon composite resin, which from what I've read can be stronger than steel. I'm not an expert on this material, but I will say that at first I was kind of concerned by the weight and feel of these, but reading more about the material kind of makes me feel a little bit more confident, but time will tell as far as durability. Now, because of the lighter weight, these are really good for long studio sessions. The R70X comes with 45mm drivers that have a frequency response from 5 Hz to 40 kHz. Now, these headphones have a high impedance, 470 ohms. So you're gonna need an audio interface or headphone amp with strong output power if you wanna listen very loud. I tested these with a number of audio interfaces and my laptop, and the high impedance surprisingly wasn't really an issue for me. Although I did turn up the volume all the way at times. I was able to get very comfortable volume with the Heritage Audio OHM headphone amp. It just sounded amazing. More on that device later. So the sound of these headphones is wide and the bass is very pleasant. You can totally hear things moving in the mix, even reverb tails. I love that about open back headphones. Now, these are not surgical on the high frequencies. They are better on the overall mix. Now, picking out sounds is really good though. Everything sits in the right spot. When mixing, these are very forgiving, which may not actually be a good thing. Things sound better than on my monitors, even when I want to hear the imperfections. They do boost the bass a bit. It feels a bit weird adjusting these headphones. Kind of feels flimsy in my opinion. The build doesn't really match the price. I'd expect more. These have dual cables, which are detachable, but if you want something with only one cable, there are other options I'll go through in this video. One thing to note, when wearing these, they didn't really sit against my ears as well as they should. They're not really snug. The Audio-Technica R70Xs are priced at $349. If you're on a tighter budget but still like Audio-Technica's sound signature, there's also the ATH-R50X available, which has lower impedance and costs around $150. By the way, all the headphones in this video are in the mid-range or budget end as far as price. I'll add links to all these headphones below the video. So if you're new to open back headphones, a couple things to remember. Open back headphones let air and sound pass through the back. That means your music sounds more open, kind of like you're listening to speakers instead of having your sound stuck in your head. They're great for mixing and hearing all the details in your song, but they do leak sound, so people nearby may hear what you're listening to. That's why they're best for quiet places like a home studio. Keep that in mind as we continue through this list. All right. Audeze is known for expensive, high-end planar magnetic headphones, but the MM100 brings that same technology to a more affordable price point at $399. These have 90mm planar drivers and they really deliver a full sound. And wow, this is what premium feels like. These were created in collaboration with a famous music producer, Manny Marroquin. Audeze and Manny actually made 2 headphones together, and these are the more budget-friendly option. These headphones are incredibly easy to drive with an 18 ohm impedance, which means you can use them with anything, interface, laptops, really anything, and they can get loud. They have a single cable, which you can hook up to either side of the headphones. As far as comfort, these immediately felt heavier, but in a high-end way. These have the most premium feel of all the headphones here. Pick these up and you feel like you're getting into business for sure. But they're pretty much double the weight of the Audio-Technicas. I mean, planar drivers are just heavier, and this is magnesium and steel. But adjustability of the headband is a little complicated. It's not very easy to quickly adjust it to different heights. So how do they sound? I think planar drivers just sound different. They're clearer and crisper in the mids without too much bass. These don't sound as wide as the Audio-Technicas, but when mixing, these are actually easier to use because there's a lot of room for volume. Bass is not thumping, but that might be a good thing for a neutral mix. Vocals are awesome on these. I feel like I can really focus on them when I mix. Nothing in the frequency range is really pronounced, so these will probably give you a neutral sound. In that way, I think these are more honest than the Audio-Technicas. So if you want this planar magnetic experience without jumping to the $1,000 price range, the MM100s are worth a look. Now, I'm testing on different interfaces and also with a new headphone amp by Heritage Audio. It's the OHM, and check it out. It has settings to dial in the impedance of your headphones. This is the first amp to have this feature, and it really improves what I'm hearing from all the headphones here. And as I switch models, the OHM sends the right amount of power to those headphones. So no cranking things up all the way just to hear your high impedance headphones. It has 3 input connections in the back and Bluetooth, and you can use it with different jack sizes. If you're upgrading your headphones, you should really consider something like this to get the most out of them. If you're interested in the OHM amp by Heritage Audio, I'll add links to learn more and the best prices below the video. Okay, so we've got to talk about one of Sennheiser's newest headphones, and this one comes with some cool software. The HD490 Pro is one of Sennheiser's latest open back headphones, and it's priced at $357 around there. It features a 38mm driver with a frequency response from 5 Hz to 36 kHz and a mid-level impedance of about 130 ohms. Now, what's unique with these is the adjustable sound tuning. It comes with 2 types of ear pads that let you either get a flatter response or a more immersive vibe. This one is velour and this one is fabric. It also comes with some software, the Deer VR Mix SE software, which lets you test your mixes in different studio environments or even a simulated car or club. Now, keep in mind, if you want that type of software, you can also buy something like SonarWorks for headphones and use that with any headphones. They have profiles for lots of different headphones. As far as comfort, the ear pads feel so good. I love them. The build is similar to the Sennheiser 600s or 650s. When I mixed with these, I felt a little muffle in the bass. It's not as punchy as the Audeze or Audio-Technicas. These are good for testing your mix on, not as great for surgical precision like placing sounds in a soundstage. Everything sits pretty close to the middle, and I'd expect more width from open back headphones. Now, you can also get this in a Pro Plus version with more accessories, additional cables. That's a bit more expensive though. If you like the option of switching out the sound profile and having that software package, these may be good for you. And don't forget, this has a very similar sound to the Sennheiser HD 600 and 650 headphones that are super popular. Okay, we can't talk about headphones without including something from Beyerdynamic, but before we get to these, I want to talk about one of the newest headphones in this video. The Sony MDR MV1 is one of the more premium entries in this mid-range list. And yeah, the price kind of reflects that. It's $399. It features 40mm drivers, a low impedance of 24 ohms, so you can use it with pretty much any device. And it has a really wide frequency response from 5 Hz to 80 kHz, which is way beyond what most human ears can even hear. You can't hear 80 kHz, but if your dog helps you produce, they'll love it. Now, Sony designed this model specifically for spatial sound mixing. And when I tested these with spatial mixes, they were just amazing. It was easy to hear each sound's position and move accurately in 360 degrees. It makes this an excellent choice if you're working with immersive audio. Now, Sony describes these as super open backs. They say it's extremely breathable and helps sound feel more natural and less boxed in. I think the MV1s strike a balance between comfort, neutral sound, and pleasant sound. Casual listening and mixing are both nice. It's really hard to find anything to complain about with these. Maybe there's a slight bass boost, but I'd learned to compensate for it because of everything else I like about them. You can be surgical with these, sounds are easy to place, and mids and highs are clear as well. These are among the more comfortable headphones in my collection, and I love their sound. When you first pick these up, you might think they're really light. They are the second lightest here, but honestly, they've really gone above and beyond to use some premium materials. They may not feel as premium as the Audeze headphones, but they match the price well. They're very comfortable, not tight around the ears. The ear pads are soft and squishy. The cable is detachable, and check it out. They prioritized the 1/4 inch size cable instead of the 1/8 inch. You don't see this very often. Mixing, even in stereo, is a pleasure on these headphones for sure. Get them if you can, you won't be disappointed. If you're looking for the best headphones or any gear for your studio, you can find it on guitarcenter.com or at your local Guitar Center store. Whether you're a bedroom producer or ready for the stage, you can find what you need at good prices. They've got all the stuff you've seen me review, including studio monitors, audio interfaces, mics, software, and of course, headphones. If you're not sure what you need, their staff can give you some advice as well. I can't tell you how many times I've visited my local store when I needed some gear for my videos. Check out the deals they've got today. I always start on their featured deals page. You know we like to save money on Sanjayc. There's even pre-owned gear on their site if you're looking for a super deal. It doesn't matter what your skill level or budget is, you'll find what you need on their site. I'll add a link to Guitar Center below the video, and if you want to check out the gear I use in my studio, you'll find my top recommendations below as well. Okay, the DT900X by Beyerdynamic brings the Beyerdynamic reputation, their name, to a more impressive open back format. This one is $270. It uses 45mm drivers and has a frequency response from 5 Hz to 40 kHz. Beyerdynamic is a really well-known brand in studios. You really can't escape this name when you look up studio headphones. The 900 Pro X came out in the last couple years, and many people think these are the premium version of the cheaper 990s, but there's more to it than that. These sound different. It kind of feels like they're a bit easier to mix with. They don't accentuate the high frequencies as much as the 990s, but that signature Beyerdynamic clarity is still there. And if you don't mix right, your hi-hats could be piercing. Bass is a little lacking compared to the other headphones in this list. The impedance is 48 ohms, which makes it compatible with pretty much any device from interfaces to laptops. A lot of people like the balance of sound that these have, and I agree. The comfort is excellent and everything on this is detachable, so you've got a lot of options to make these last a long time. Among all the headphones in this video, I think these are a good pick if you don't want to spend more than $300. The build is great, replaceable parts, the pads feel really comfortable. If you want a premium Beyerdynamic for your studio, these are the ones to get. And hey, if you're looking for Beyerdynamics but want to spend even less, the DT990s are excellent and many people just love them. Just be careful with those high frequencies, you may need to compensate for them. All right, music production aside, there are lots of other open back headphones that are made for audiophiles, consumers, and I have an interesting one here. These are not typically on the list of studio headphones, but if you're looking for an open back headphone under $150 that uses planar magnetic drivers like the Audeze ones, the Hi-Fi Man HE400 SE may be worth looking into. These headphones are really cheap, $109, and they sound, well, actually pretty good. When I mixed with these, I did feel like the bass was a little bit on the low side, and the vocals definitely not up to the clarity of the Audezes, but they were still good. These sound pretty neutral, and I really like the price for what I'm hearing. The impedance is 32 ohms, so it'll work with just about anything. The frequency range, 20 Hz to 20 kHz, isn't as wide as others on this list, but still, this headphone holds its own and could be fine for everyday studio work, maybe even as a second pair of open backs for your studio. As far as comfort, they're great. No complaints, but build quality is kind of low. The materials and finish are not on the level of the other headphones in this list. The headband looks stock and low quality. Same for the ear cups, and the cable is kind of short. So yeah, this model isn't very popular in the music production community, but it gets good reviews online and could be a decent choice if you're on a tight budget. I actually think these sound above their price point. So which headphone from this list would I choose? Well, if I had to pick, I would choose the Sony MDR MB1s and, well, maybe the Audeze as well. They are so different. The Sonys are super comfortable, light, and just sound great. And like I said, it's a great balance of everything I measured. The Audezes have the planar drivers, and honestly, the build quality is just super solid. They feel the most premium of all the headphones here. I don't know. It just feels good wearing them. But hey, there are lots of headphones to choose from in this video, and you can't go wrong with any of them. Remember, it's not about the gear you have, but the music you make with it. Get something you can afford, you can always upgrade later. It's more important to learn your headphones as well as you can, so you can be more confident with the mixing decisions you make with them. Open back headphones like these have helped me hear details in my mixes I would have totally missed otherwise. Some of the music you've heard on my channel has been mixed with open back headphones. People always ask me what gear to get, so I put together a complete studio buyer's guide with all my tested recommendations from budget picks to pro level upgrades. If it's not out yet, you can sign up below for early access or grab it now if it's already live. You'll find it below the video along with links to all the headphones I've covered. Keep making the music you love, and if you're looking for some excellent closed back headphones, watch the video right here. I'll see you there.